So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on panic attacks and basically what panic attacks are and then coping mechanisms for them. So I hope you like today's video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to start the video with what is a panic attack, because that's just something that people may be curious of. So basically a panic attack is a sudden and intense feeling of anxiety. Usually there's like a few physical symptoms: breathlessness, sweaty, too hot, too cold, feeling disconnected from reality, nausea and things along those lines. But certain people have different symptoms. Some people have like loads, some people have a few, but either way, panic attack. Yeah, so that's just a short summary of what it is. First coping mechanism is breathing exercises. This is one thing that GPs basically definitely recommend. So breathing exercises, you can find many on the internet. One I personally use is the 5-6-7 method, which basically, whether I dreamt this, now I'm questioning it, I think I read it on the internet, but either way it works for me. So I breathe in for 5 seconds through my nose, I then hold it for 6 seconds, and then I breathe out through my mouth for 7 seconds. Some people may find it better if they close their eyes, other people might find it better if they don't. Some people might enjoy counting like it out loud, whereas other people may count it in the head, especially if they are in public. And yeah, so different things work for different people, but this is the personal breathing exercise that works for me. But then if this doesn't work for you, I definitely recommend going online. You can find lots of breathing exercises, and practicing breathing exercises regularly can actually help prevent panic attacks. So I definitely recommend going online and having a look at breathing exercises. Another thing is positive thinking. I know what you're thinking, like, if I could just be positive, like, that's not a thing. Like, oh wow, why don't you just stop being anxious? Like, obviously that's not what I mean. I basically mean reminding yourself of facts. So the fact is, when you have a panic attack, you've never died before. If you had, that would be very surprising. I find myself funny. Anyway, but you've never fainted before, never thrown up before, never had all these things you're feeling, like you never had a heart attack, all these, you may have one specific fear while you have a panic attack, and you may just need to remind yourself that it's never happened before. And even if it has happened before, say it wasn't that bad. Like, convince yourself it wasn't that bad, even though you may have thought it was that bad at the time. Because convincing yourself of these facts, say like, it will pass, because you know a panic attack, it will pass. Like, they never last longer, like, I don't know what the average time is, but you know they'll pass, because you've never had it like days on end. Like, it will eventually pass. And you just need to keep reminding yourself, like, oh, this isn't happening, like, this isn't real, I am fine, I'm gonna be okay, it's gonna pass. And just reminding yourself of these things, repeating out loud, talking to someone else actually. Like, sometimes what really helps for me is someone else reminding me this, because when I'm very dependent on other people, like with food and stuff. I'm like, hey, is this okay? And people are probably gonna be like, yeah. Like, I just need like reassurance from other people, whether or not it's the truth or not. I do need reassurance. So that might be the same for you. So maybe talk to someone you trust, say, and when oh, when I'm having a panic attack, can you just remind me of these things? Like, can we just talk and you just remind me that I am just like gonna be okay? Because I just need that. You just need someone to remind you, whether it be yourself or someone else, that it's gonna pass and you're gonna be okay. Another way which I definitely find useful is shifting your focus onto something else. Now, this can be very, very difficult. It can like be hard, because while you're having a panic attack, you're very much, for me it feels, I'm very disconnected from everything. When I get really, really intense, it's quite scary. You know, like, I was thinking about this, like, basically you have the whole world outside you and it's just so big, but all you can think about in this thing is like something that's going on in your head, which is just so small, and it's weird. Anyway, so basically shifting your focus is a great way to cope. You may shift it in different ways to other people. So whether it be through art, going on a walk, exercising, reading a book, listening to music. For me, what definitely works is talking to someone. Obviously this can't always be the situation, because sometimes when you're having a panic attack, you may be by yourself, or you may prefer to be by yourself. But I definitely say coping for me is talking to someone. Whether sometimes I'm in the mood to talk about my actual anxiety, I like to discuss it with someone. I like to be like, hey, so this is actually what's happening. I'm like, it can be very, very difficult to talk. Sometimes you might have a dry mouth, or you might feel sick or whatever, but just be like, hey, so this is what's happening, this is how my panic attacks are, and then sort of talking it out loud. You're like, oh yeah, this is what my panic attacks are like like I'm gonna be okay, and it's sort of that positive thinking again. But sometimes the last thing on my mind, like, I want to be talking about is panic attacks, so I'm like, anything else, any topic in the whole wide world, that's sometimes what I need. Like, talk to me about ghosts, what your opinion is on like flat earth theory, like what you think of trees, what you think of like vegans, what you think of Taylor Swift. I very much like to talk about things like everything and anything apart from anxiety and panic attacks, so that's definitely a thing for me. I love shifting my focus away from that, because that just sort of, it calms me down so much. But obviously this isn't for everyone. Sometimes people may need to be alone, and if you do need to alone, you can shift your focus in like creative ways, or you can shift your focus again maybe by talking to yourself. It's not as weird as it seems. Talking to yourself is completely normal. I don't care what people say, like, talking to yourself is like a fine thing to do, so don't stress about that. Just talk to yourself, just remind yourself it's going to be okay, and if you need to talk to yourself out loud, fine. Like, if someone judges you, oh well, you just calm yourself down, it's okay. Another way to do it is count things in your surroundings. This is quite a common technique, like of grounding yourself. So say you may want to touch like 3 things, hear 5 things, see 5 things, like things like that. Use your senses. One sense I avoid though is smelling, because my panic attacks very much revolve around being ill. So I avoid smelling things, because sometimes when you have too much, like, when you smell things, it can make you feel sick, so I avoid smelling. The last method is basically keeping a diary. So you may want to keep a diary of just how you're feeling in general, like keep one of those, you know, if you go on Pinterest and you see like really nice people's like bullet journals, keep stuff like that. Have like a mood chart, see how your mood is, how your anxiety is and things like that. And also one thing I definitely recommend noting down is how you feel during your panic attack, and maybe things that have gone on in that day, things you've eaten, things you've, people you've been with, songs you've listened to, stuff like where, like rooms you've been in and things like that, because then you can sort of identify possibly a link between them, and that can sort of help with coping with future panic attacks and sort of preventing them, because if you notice a certain chain of things, it can definitely prevent like, you know, like you can then avoid them if possible. Obviously it's not always possible, say if it's something to do with school, but then you can identify that, and then say if you do want to go to your doctor or your GP or whatever to talk about anxiety, you can say, hey, so this is how I'm feeling and these are the things that I think trigger it, and then that can definitely help with therapy later on and things to do with that. So keeping a diary definitely does help. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope it's helped you possibly cope with panic attacks. Make sure you look online as well. Looking online can really help. If you are having a panic attack, just have a look what other people do, because that's the best way to do it, because obviously every technique isn't going to work for you, but if it works for someone else, it might work for you. So definitely have a look at what's out there, and I hope this video did help you. So make sure you like and subscribe, and if you have any video suggestions, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all those things, and yeah, I'd love them, and I hope this helped. And if you have any coping mechanisms yourself, you can comment them. This is so unlikely that anyone's going to do this, but it'd be really cool if someone did. So yeah, I hope you have a nice day.